Moapa Peak. Can't see that guy. The road's kind of rough. I would probably have a higher clearance four-wheel drive car for this. All right, after kind of a rough road, that is Moapa Peak. Look at this. Gila monster, he's shooting a laser out of him. This peak is 6,470. 6,470. So this goes up like 3,400 feet in like 3 miles. So it's gonna be steep. So I think what you do is you follow this drainage up and eventually gain the ridge somewhere, and then follow the ridge up and go to the base of those cliffs up high, and then have a cool little ridge traverse, knife edge. So it is 1:11. I have about 3.5 hours of light. So we've just kind of walked. We came between those cliffs, went on a road, and then kind of got in a wash, but it's like a wash that splits constantly. And it's like, it's not a well-defined wash, if you know what I mean. We're not like in a canyon. It's like an open plain wash. All right, so this wash is starting to wind its way up through these hills pretty nicely. You can see it's gonna bend left. And there's our peak up there. We just have to get over there somewhere to access the ridge. So this drainage has gotten a little interesting. Maybe I wanted to climb up there. That's an option. I might need to backtrack here. It's narrowed up, as you might imagine, and gotten a lot rockier. And I guess I can get up this way. Just could be a little challenging. I think you probably wanted to bypass this, but it looks like it's steppy enough. It's just real worn, real smooth. That's my only hold up here. That's how smooth it is, the lack of holds. Yeah. All right, I think we're gonna be good here. Not completely out of the woods. How do we step over here? Maybe right there. Yeah. Don't get pushed off. Come on, Kevin. All right. That was quite the obstacle. So I think you could just bypass it, but not too bad. So I headed up somewhere up there, I think. All right, so right after that dry fall obstacle, the drainage kind of splits. I didn't see the cairn up there. You want to take the left split. So I messed things up here, but I'm in the process of correcting myself, hopefully, to get over here. I think I'm just following kind of this drainage up for a while, and then at some point I'm cutting up. I don't know where. All right, so not soon after the split, when we went left, a use trail emerges above the drainage on the left-hand side. So I think we're getting up to that saddle, and then we'll work the ridge. Well, after a real steep 300 or 400 feet, we've hit a saddle. Man, that was hard work there, that last part. So, I think that's your summit. I think we're heading straight up now. All right, saddle's like a good 300-400 feet above us. We're slogging up. It gets pretty cliffy, so I don't know exactly where we're going. Maybe straight up. I don't know. All right, so we've hit a cairn in kind of a vertical wall, and it's not clear to me. Ooh, but see, this makes it look like someone's trying to block this off. I think I see a cairn. Is this right? To me, this doesn't look right, because it doesn't look like we drop at all, and that's why I'm a little confused, because we're dropping. So it makes me want to go on this ledge. So this looks like a cairn up here. Yeah, this is definitely a cairn right here. I just don't know. Oh, do we climb up right here? There's a cairn right here, so yeah, I guess so. I was like, I don't know where we go from here. Looks like we're running into a cliff. So this is like sort of a class 3 section. Stop, you didn't call this one out, did you, buddy? So this is super tough volcanic rock. So be careful. Yeah, cairn up here. So yeah, this is the way down right off of this. So this is gonna get fun. It looks like we might bend back now on a ledge system. So cairn, hammering up. It looks like there's cairns leading the way, right? That was fun, I must say. Pretty well cairned. Some class 3 moves. And now, cairn up there. We still got a long way to go to the ridge, and then of course the summit. But we're biting off vert pretty quickly now. I'd imagine we only have like 1,000 to the summit of the 3,400, would be my guess. But unsure, hopeful more. Just keep locating cairns, walking up to them, and then finding the next one. Look at the view, baby. We're parked all the way down at that break in the cliffs down there. All right, so we're sort of contouring across a ledge system because that's the rib we came from. But now we're just ramping straight up. So we're not going straight to the ridge, unfortunately. We're kind of trying to cut it off and slowly climbing up to it, it looks like. So this looks like a nice little, just steep use path. It's gonna get all the way up, I think, to the ridge, hopefully. So yeah, headed up somewhere this way. All right, so finally I've looked up. It looks like there's cairns up, so it looks like it is gonna push us up to the ridge now finally, which will be, it's always a good feeling when you hit like a saddle or a ridge, you know, and it tends to flatten out for a while, not necessarily. You could be walking straight up a ridge, but in this case, I think it'll at least temporarily mellow out for us. This is a hard slog, 3,400 feet in like 3 miles, and it's flat in the beginning, so headed up, summit's out of view. All right, so we've gained this ridge, but you can see the summit's still well above us. So, long way to go. Of course, 1,000 feet maybe, but making progress. Right up, we're gonna wrap around the cliff face on the right. So we've closed the gap by another 400 or 500 vertical feet. This is quite the hammering slog. It's just like hammer, 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 non-stop. Woo! We're gonna get, when we wrap around the summit block here, it's gonna flatten out temporarily before we then have our summit push and our ridge traverse. All right, so we've completed the wrap, and starting, here's a cairn, and gonna start heading up this hillside. So it's crazy how far down some of that stuff is. I mean, this whole thing's 3,400, which isn't a ton, but when it's just this open desert landscape, it looks like a lot, just rising out of the flats there. So I was completely mistaken. we have a lot more wrapping to do, sort of flat. We have to wrap around that. So I wrapped around that nose. No, we're not getting up there. So we still have a decent amount of fairly flat terrain before we then go up that steep hillside to the ridge. So yeah, this is gonna be a long effort. It's gonna be like probably 2 hours up, an hour and a half down, if I had to guess. But we'll see. All right, we've wrapped around multiple noses, started to come up. And according to the map, although I don't see a cairn, it is time to cut up. I was hoping I'd see some cairns, but it probably doesn't matter which way you go up. This is hard. It's just avoiding the cactus too is somewhat challenging at times. So, well, I think I kind of invented my own way up, but occasionally I do run into cairns, so that makes me feel better. I think we're almost about to get to the ridge, finally. It has taken a while to conquer this ridge. And then, so now my question is, how do we get up? Wait, is the summit over there? Am I losing my mind? I don't think it is. How? Do we have to climb up? There's rocks stacked down now. Looks like you wrap around. So look, this is pretty cool. That would be a hard move. So I guess this is correct. Well, the cairn staff did not do a good job detailing this whatsoever. So it could have been, there's your summit. Still way up there. Still way up there. I don't know how we're supposed to gain this. We have to gain the ridge at some point. How are we gonna do this? I don't know. Maybe right here? All right, finally, we're on the ridge. Man, this is a slog. Now it should be easier walking, I think. We've put in most of our vert. We're just gonna have some semblance of a cool knife edge, which it's all kind of knife edgy, but nothing too crazy. Yeah, maybe this is the exposed knife edge, but very easy to step around there. Yeah, that might have been your exposed knife edge right there. So, continuing, should probably go up. I think probably should have been up to begin with. Yeah. This is cool. This is cool up here for sure. Yeah, so more knife edge fun, and eventually we'll make it to the summit. Look at the views. So it's pretty narrow ridgeline. I mean, nothing too crazy, but I mean, for some of you, this will be too much to handle if you don't like exposure or drop. I mean, some of these areas you probably wouldn't fall too far, but some of these areas you would fall and get hurt. Probably not die, but you never know. So we're just staying ridge proper, I think. And the summit's up there, not that far in front of us. We're gonna be threatening darkness on the way down, so I'll show you once I get up there. All right, home stretch here, I think. Yeah. Moapa Peak. Got an ammo box. Bang. Yeah, buddy. It's crazy how far down we are. Parked. It's just rising up in the Mormon mountain wilderness of Nevada. We're not in Utah yet, Utah somewhere out there. We got some high mountains with snow. Under 2 hours, 153 up. So it's gonna be over 3 for sure. Might be like 3.5. So pretty hard effort. All right, I'm going to little trolley sour worms, summit snack, and then I'm gonna hustle down so I can beat the darkness. Awesome views. All right, we finished the contour, I think, around the base of the summit that went on quite a while. So yeah, we're gonna have to try to head down and look for cairns along the way. I kind of was just slogging up however I saw fit, so probably just gonna zigzag down and hope for the best here. So it's sort of complicated up here. You want to go down to that saddle, but you actually don't, because there's cairns, and then I look down and I see one, so we're heading steeply down for the time being. So this should, from above, usually it's easier to see the route and the cairns. All right, we've contoured down below that saddle, and there's cairns, and pretty soon we got to get off these cliffs to get down to that saddle. So we got to get down this ridge that you see. And when you look at it, it's like there's no way it's vertical cliffs, but there's a nice little zigzaggy ledge route that does take you all the way down, or all the way up. I guess it must take me down too. So you just got to pay attention. Cairn, just look for cairns and you should be okay, but it's not. Like if you didn't have the cairns, it'd be very challenging to figure out a way up and down. So like here, I don't think I need to climb, but my question is, do I go down here? And I'm not sure. Oh, there's one up there. See, that's actually works well against the sunlight. So there are cairns pretty much all the way down this rocky section. I literally just blew right. There's literally 1, 2 right here. Somehow I didn't even see them. So felt like I was going the wrong way, away from this rib. There's one little section where you sort of bend back, and see, now it's like, where do I go? Is this a cliff? Oh, this might be where we had to climb up, like class 3. Yeah, because there's a cairn right below. So now the question is, do we just climb down here? I think we just climbed down right here. This is where we climbed up. Now you might be able to bend around, but I think this was kind of the mounting of the cliffs. Was this sort of little class 3 section, but you can see there's a nice foothold right there. So on the way down, you might want to go backwards because it sort of pushes you out, but here's the cairn that marks the step up onto the rock. But now we're going over there and we're just going kind of straight off, like steep class 2 for the most part. All right, well, the sun is behind those mountains. We've sort of zigzagged down this rib. Most of our work now is done. We do have a somewhat steep descent down. See this cairn here? I think this is gonna tell us where to cut down. It's gonna be steep down to that dry fall. All right, I was gonna say we've hit our dry fall, but maybe it's not yet. Yeah, it's so slick, which makes it, in my opinion, kind of sketchy. So I might actually try to bend around, maybe just right here, rather than climb up too far. Yeah, I think the ticket's gonna be right here at this bush. So I'm showing you, I climbed up that way. Just take this little ledge that you'll find. You know, it is a little exposed if you get too close to the edge. So if you need to, step through the brush like so. And of course I scratched on my leg doing that. But yeah, we're just gonna ramp it. I guess ramp it down whenever we see fit. Just jogging it out in the wash. There's our cliff band, still pretty far away, that we're parked on the other side of. So Probably still a mile back to the car, but it should be pretty quick. I mean, we're gonna say under 15 minutes, I think. So yeah, this is gorgeous though. Look at the colors. All right, almost back, quarter mile maybe. So just aim for the break in these cliffs. You see it all the way from the top, from far away. The washes kind of braid out and you might be in the wrong one, but they're all leading down, so it really doesn't matter. All right, that was it. That was Moapa, and I think it's that far point. It's hard to tell from here, but you wrap for quite a long time. But yeah, got down without needing a headlamp. It's gorgeous out here in the desert. Look at the sky out there. All right, headed to Zion next.